Yeah, it started out with kind of a shock, can't be true, to, well, it is, so we're going to move forward. And we never lost that positive approach.
In March of 2020, as the state of Maine was just getting ready to celebrate Statehood Weekend, its 200th year of statehood and independence from Massachusetts, the coronavirus pandemic struck, shuttering virtually everything, including statewide events to commemorate Maine's bicentennial. Consequently, the people of Maine and beyond were effectively robbed of a proper celebration on Maine's 200th birthday. On Wednesday, March 4th, 2021, I sat down with Senator Bill Diamond, the chairman of the Maine Bicentennial Commission, to discuss all things related to the bicentennial, including how the COVID-19 pandemic affected events last year, what we can look forward to this year, as well as his background as a Mainer. This is the first part in a series interviewing members of the Maine Bicentennial Commission to get their stories.
My name is Bill Diamond, state senator in District 26. I live in Wyndham. Almost 3 years ago now, we started this Bicentennial Commission. There was legislation that created the commission, and somehow I got elected chair of that. I don't think any of us realized what was involved. I know I didn't when this all started, but you mentioned it, we had 2 years of planning. 2 years we planned to have everything start on the 15th of March. Actually, it was the 16th of March in 2020. And so as a result of that, when that came to a screeching halt, we all said right off the top, we're not going to stop, we're not going to quit. We've got too much planning into this. We'd raised money, right, given out almost $700,000 to communities to do their own thing, because that's what this is all about, is communities celebrating. And we'll do some major events, but for the most part, we wanted the communities around Maine and Maine to celebrate the way the communities wanted to. And that was our whole push. So along with that, we also raised money to do some of the major events, as I talked about. But as a whole, when we finally realized it wasn't going to happen in the year of celebration, we said, you know what? We're not going to stop. We've planned this. We've worked this. We're going to do it if we have to do it 2001, we're going to. So 21. So one more year, and that's what happened. That's what we've done, and we're looking forward to kicking off on the 15th this year, which is Statehood Day, and we'll talk about the time capsule that'll be unveiled, and then we'll proceed on in the summer, late summer and fall, to do other things, hopefully, that we've been planning now for all these years, it seems like, and it actually has been. So we're still excited. We're not devastated in the slightest. We're positive about it, and we're going to make it happen, and I think it's going to be fun for the state of Maine.
That's some good news.
Yeah.
All right. So how do you say you got into the role as the chairman of the commission?
The commission was meeting for the first time. I think it was in January, and I was conducting a committee meeting upstairs, so I was late. And when I got down there, then I was informed that you come late, you're going to get elected to something, and so that's how I got elected as chair of the Bicentennial Commission. But having said that, and that's really what happened, I considered it a high honor to be in that position. As I say, I didn't realize the amount of work that everybody was doing on this and what it was going to take, not only to raise money, but to plan events. Dave Cheever, at the time, was the archivist. He's since retired, and you're going to talk to him, but Dave played a key role in making this happen. He was just always there and doing the things that had to get done. Without David Cheever, we probably wouldn't be here. And Christian Musinski, who works upstairs, she volunteered all of her time to make it go too. So those two key people, then we put together an executive committee, and then a full commission had already been created. So it really was a team effort, and I can't tell you how proud I am. And Maine can very well feel very proud of all the efforts that's going on, because it's all voluntary. People just did this work as volunteers. So very, very successul because of that dedication.
Yeah. So when did the commission officially become established?
In the legislative, you got to look back. I know it was in January of 18, so I think it was a prior year that Representative Jim Handy put the legislation in, creating and anticipating that we would be doing a celebration. So it became a legislative effort. Legislature was passed it, and as a result, that's how it was created.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Senator Diamond, how long have you been involved in politics in Maine?
Good question. I think I was first elected in the Maine House of Representatives in 1976. I was a mere lad of 5 years old, and but that's when I got. And I was in the House for 6 years, and then I was in the Senate for 4 years, and then left and served 8 years as Secretary of State right upstairs, and then left again. Ran my business and did all those things. Then came back again in 2004 for 4 terms. Then left again, and they just keep pulling me back. So then I ran one last time this last 2 years, and so that'll be it.
Yep. So what events were you most looking forward to last year?
Well, I was looking forward to observing and watching some of the local community events because we really promoted the local communities do your own thing. So I was hoping to be able to see some of those. I think some were kind of planned as best they could, but I'm hoping we're going to see a lot more this summer. But beyond that, I mentioned Dave Cheever, the work he did on the tall ships coming up and down the Maine coast. He'll give you more details on that, but that is really going to be spectacular. We have a parade we had planned in Lewiston, Auburn area, and that was going to be early on, but now we're pushing that into August. Hopefully we'll be able to do that parade. It'll be a state parade, so it's going to be, everyone's invited with the Bicentennial band, marching band, and all that kind of thing. So I mean, those are the 2 biggies, but we have also other things going on. We have an expo in the fall, talking about Maine and what we look to do in the future and all that goes with that. So I think it's fair to say that the events were planned to encompass the entire state, involve everybody that wanted to be involved, whether it's a local community or whether it's a major event that we're going to be participating in as a state. So all of those, in particular the ones I mentioned, are the ones that I'm really looking forward to.
Okay. Since all the events basically were 2 years in the making, basically the statewide celebrations were 2 years in the making. Can you describe, I guess, the atmosphere and what you were feeling the week of the Maine Statehood Weekend, which is when coronavirus was really starting to take hold?
Right.
And, what was going on in your head and others around you?
Initially, in my head, I was saying, "Oh no, this can't be true." I mean, 200 years. This is a great celebration, and as I say, everybody's worked so hard. This can't be happening. But as soon as we realized it was, we didn't shrug our shoulders and we didn't, bow our heads and say, "Oh my God, this is terrible." We said, "You know what? We'll just keep moving things ahead. Maybe something will happen." Nobody knew what this virus is going to turn into for the summer and fall of last year. So what we did, we just said, we'll move it ahead. Then we realized that wasn't going to happen. So we took that same energy, that same positive attitude, and just swung it right around to 2021. And that's what we're doing right now. And again, we're going to have this magnificent unveiling of the time capsule at the University of Maine in Orono on the 15th. I'm going to run up on the top of the State House and hold up some flags, and we're going to fly some Maine flags over the State House, and we'll use those as part of our saviors for the capsule and other things as well. So yeah, it started out with kind of a shock, can't be true, to, well, it is, so we're going to move forward. And we never lost that positive approach. So I never saw anybody within our working group, get discouraged and say, "Why are we doing this?" Everybody was right straightforward and just out there making this whole thing happen. And I'm as enthused, maybe more so, than I was getting ready for the real year, the real celebration year, because I know what's coming. I know how exciting it's going to be. So.
Yeah, did you guys hear from anyone involved in the events, like vendors or local businesses or even speakers at events during that time and what they were?
Well, we kept in close contact with everybody. For example, the parade organizers. We have a parade committee that Kristen, I mentioned upstairs, worked on heavily. Dave's been working on the tall ships, so everybody knew they could see this thing coming. There was going to be a delay, so it wasn't like a surprise. I mean, everybody had planned in their own head, probably won't happen, kind of deal, and that's how it turned out. So that it wasn't really a case of us having to go to people and saying, "You know what, this isn't going to happen." It was pretty much obvious it wasn't going to happen.
Okay. And when did you say the time capsule is and the flag waving? What month is that?
That's in about 2 weeks, on the 15th of March,
right,
Statehood, which is our Statehood Day. So we'll be in Orono, and we'll be unveiling the capsule up there. We haven't had a press release on that yet, I don't think. So that's embargoed.
Okay.
For another few days.
Okay. What's your history with Maine in terms of like how have you lived here your whole life?
5 miles from here, in West Gardner, Maine, I grew up. A little small, poor farming town. Everybody was poor as a church mouse, but nobody realized it because we're all the same. And so, it was really bad. I mean, it's bad to look back on it now. People would consider it to be not a great place. We loved what we did, how we grew up, but there was no running water, no inside bathrooms, none of that stuff. That was all would come later on after I left and went to college. But that's the kind of community that gave a lot of us our beginnings and who determined who we are. So I grew up there and went on to college, and then was a teacher, principal, superintendent of schools down in Cumberland County, in Windham and Raymond, and started a business in 1980, and been in business, started 6 businesses, and have sold 5 of them. So it's been a business, education, legislative, Secretary of State kind of experience in Maine, but it's all been Maine, and I've loved every minute of it. I'm more fortunate than most.
So what does the Maine Bicentennial mean to you?
It's obviously a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to help celebrate Maine's 200th birthday. I mean, how great is that? There are so many people who have been born and died in that interim that never had this opportunity. Certainly had the opportunity to celebrate 100 years, but another 100 on top of that, 200. To me, it's a huge privilege to be part of that. A small part and soon to be forgotten, but that's okay. I mean, we're living in the moment, and we'll save a little bit of this for the future when we do the capsule. But for me, it's being able to be part of something that's unique, special, and trying to involve as many people as possible.
So do you have a hand, I guess, in like any specific events, or
no? Everybody else is doing all the hard work. All I have to do is come to some meetings, conduct commission meetings, Bicentennial Commission meetings, and executive committee meetings like we're having at noon today to help do the detailed planning on a regular basis. So everybody else is working much harder than I am, and it's because there's the dedication, as I mentioned earlier. So my role is just to kind of be involved in maybe guiding and leading the meetings, offering suggestions when they ask me. But it's really sincerely it's everybody else is working so hard on this.
Mm-hmm. So are there events that you're looking forward to the most this year?
2 things for me. The parade would be great because it's going to be floats from around the state, and it's going to be televised. We hope. Still working on that, and I think that's going to be so much fun. And we will have our own bicentennial marching band made up of anybody that wants to join, as long as they get in at the right time and can practice. So that's a biggie for me. And the other one is seeing the tall ships up and down the coast. As I say, Dave Cheever will talk more about that when you talk with him. But that's going to be a magnificent appearance. You can imagine. Most folks have never seen such ships, and they're coming. Originally, they were coming from around the world, and we're hoping that still happens. But it'll be in many, many ports up and down the coast. So that's going to be a spectacular event. And so those 2 are my ones I'm looking forward to the most.
Okay, great. Before we wrap up the interview, is there anything that you feel like you really want to share or express?
I just want to remind everybody that just because, through no one's fault in this virus, we couldn't do the actual celebration as scheduled, we're going to do it this year, 1 year later, and it's going to be as much or maybe more exciting than before. And everybody needs to get ginned up on this and realize how much fun it's going to be, and that we are celebrating a huge moment in our history. So I want to make sure everybody stays positive and everybody realizes, look, it's going to be as much fun as we want to make it. So whether it's your little community doing your thing, which we hope there's a lot of that, and we know there will be, or if you just come into the major events, that too is going to be something that's going to be fun to be part of. So enjoy it, celebrate it, and don't get discouraged because we're going to happen eventually.
And where can people find out about all things Maine Bicentennial?
Maine200.org is the best place to go online to get a good idea and do all sorts of things. See what's happening, what our plans are, what our events are, and all that sort of thing. So please go online or give us a call. Give me a call. My number's easy to get. And please call David at home. And he likes to get calls after 5. So
That would be nice.
All right, great. Thank you, Senator Diamond.
Thank you very much. Thanks for doing this, because this is going to be a big help for us. I mean, it's promoting what we're doing, and hopefully get people energized again and realize that no one is discouraged. We're going at this full force.